Rummy expecting a video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, check out my second channel down below, where I also post what ifs as well as discussion videos on certain topics. But with that being said, shout out to your friend likes what ifs or anime content in general, as well. Yeah, this is an anime channel. As well as, subscribe, as I want to hit 14,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I know I can only do that with you guys' support. And with that being said, let's get into the recap. In the last part, we basically ended off with Naruto. Oh, and before we fully begin, I just wanted to state this. Right now, I'm just adding a few things to my room. Some furniture. So it may sound a little echoey because like a ton of stuff's been taken out. But with that being said, I hope it doesn't ruin the quality of this video. It shouldn't, from what I can tell, but it really just depends. No. With that being said, we left the part off with Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke rushing through the forest to death, as eventually they would feel an ominous presence. Now, with that being said, I think that you guys know who this is. It is the one and only Orochimaru. At least one and only in some people's books. Now, with that being said, Naruto would immediately recognize Orochimaru as Orochimaru walked into their path. Naruto guessed a few reasons that Orochimaru was there. Either he was there to, I guess you could say, watch many of the younger generation, so to speak, to see if he could get a new host, or he was specifically there for himself, and the last option being that he was specifically there for Sasuke Uchiha, because for the sole fact that through his endeavors with Orochimaru, through him, chilling with Orochimaru, you could say, he had actually figured out that Orochimaru really liked Sasuke. Not like that, but you know what I mean. He really wanted Sasuke's body, I guess you could say. Just talking about this is interesting, but I think you guys get my point. He wanted to, have Sasuke as a host, you could say. And so, his main, I guess you could say, option for why Orochimaru was there, at least in his head, was that he was either there for him or there for Sasuke. And Sasuke just made a lot more sense. He needed somebody who he could switch into his body, who was really good with the Sharingan. Naruto was going to be that person, but Naruto got up and left. Orochimaru immediately went wide-eyed, as he would remain calm, as to not give away his identity. Though, unbeknownst to him, Naruto already knew who he was, due to the fact that Orochimaru didn't actually know that Naruto could sense things as good as he could. Naruto would then tell Sasuke to continue through the forest with Sakura, as he will handle the man in front of them. Sasuke wouldn't move, as Naruto would have to slap him. This would cause Sasuke to understand, as he would immediately run away, looking back as he wondered if he'd ever see Naruto again. Sakura did the same, trusting in their beloved teammate, you could say. With that being said, Naruto would ready himself for battle with Orochimaru, as Orochimaru would smirk, asking Naruto how it's been. Naruto would then respond, "Orochimaru, it's been a very long time since we've last, I guess you could say, talked. We were best buds just a few years ago." Few years? I think you're overstating time. Or should I say overestimating. As Naruto said this, he would pull out his blade, looking dead at Orochimaru. I thought about a few reasons why you could be in this forest. A, you were looking for some new host, since you couldn't find one that you could have. While Naruto said this, he would crack his fingers, one by one. Or, you were here for Sasuke Uchiha, a skilled prodigy of Konoha, which is not that bad of an option, just saying. Now, there was another conclusion I had, that you were here to take me back, as you knew I'd be participating at this time. Maybe you had a spy, maybe you didn't. Because maybe it's just me, but lately I've been feeling eyes on me from people in Anbu Fest. Of course, this actually is not Orochimaru. Well, I shouldn't say of course, because maybe some of you guys didn't know. But this is not Orochimaru who's spying on Naruto with, Anbu, because you could say people in Anbu. But rather, it is Danzo who's spying on Naruto, because he realized that Naruto had an eye patch over his left eye, or kind of like a headband, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Stuff that would lead to him having the Sharingan rather than just, you know, his eye getting fucked up. He didn't believe that one bit, and he knows Orochimaru has Sharingan, so it would just make perfect sense. Maybe he could even, you know, unveil Naruto's Sharingan to the public, and, you know, and people would, well, hate Naruto even more. But with that being said, we would then see Naruto attack Orochimaru. Orochimaru and Naruto would both clash sword to kunai. Naruto would then yell out as he would build up his energy, screaming so loud that for a brief moment, Orochimaru's eardrums would burst, and Sakura and Sasuke could hear his scream, slash yell, slash roar, even battle cry, if you want to call it that, from miles away, as that's how far they had gotten at this point. They had both then looked back, wondering if they should, well, turn back, as they decided against it. They must believe in their teammate. Naruto would then look to the ground as he would speak. I never wanted to admit this, Orochimaru. Orochimaru thought to himself. What is he going to admit? Well, put simply, I never wanted to admit that you were better than me, stronger than me, and even faster than me. Over our time together, I grew indefinitely. Not only that, but you know how it went. I took Sharingan and, well, got out of the place. I see. So you truly do remember. I thought you would, well, got up and forgot about everything that we had done together. Everything we had done together, mostly it was training. You trained me, I guess you could say like a dog, never giving me time to rest. Because I was supposed to be the perfect... Naruto would cough up some blood. What's happening to me? Naruto's body would then lift its blade, if you will. Basically, Naruto's hand is lifting up its blade. Or slash his blade. As Naruto would then point his blade to his chest. Naruto would then look down as he wondered what was happening, as Orochimaru would smirk. Well, it is fitting to know that somebody who I considered like my son does not think of me like that, and thinks I just belittled him, training him like a dog. I must say, it would be much, well, more fun to see you kill yourself. Naruto looked at Orochimaru with despair, and then back at his sword, which is pointed right in front of his chest. Naruto had body armor and, well, even some chainmail under his clothing, but his sword did go through. Naruto would then add Kyuubi chakra on his own, as the Kyuubi would then awaken. Its chakra was being used, and usually Naruto doesn't use, well, the Kyuubi's chakra unless something really bad is happening. The Kyuubi would then make it so that Naruto could not use his chakra, stripping it away from Naruto, as Naruto would thank the Kyuubi for, I guess you could say, helping him out, but it was of no use. The Kyuubi's chakra had already done enough. It had done the deed by breaking through both Naruto's, well, armor and chainmail. We actually see the original Naruto with his orange jumpsuit have chainmail, so that's why he has it here as well. But with that being said, Naruto would then start to cough up some more blood. Now, when Orochimaru first, maybe not, you can tell, but when Orochimaru first started controlling Naruto's body, he coughed up blood. That's because Orochimaru was rattling Naruto's organs. You see, during the time that Naruto and Orochimaru were together, Naruto had actually taught Orochimaru a few things, and had actually gave him some advice. This allowed Orochimaru to learn a jutsu he had been trying to learn for a very long time. Now, we don't actually know if this jutsu even exists in the Naruto world, nor do we know if Orochimaru actually tried to, well, learn this jutsu, but in this timeline, it's going to exist in the Naruto franchise, and it's also going to be something that Orochimaru is trying to learn. Now, basically, this jutsu allows the user to be able to manipulate the blood in one's body, and even manipulate their blood so much so that they can manipulate their bones, as blood is technically around your bones, and furthermore, they can even manipulate their bodies if they're skilled enough. Now, this is not the Kitsuryugan's ability to manipulate the iron within the blood, which does something similar, but rather it is a whole nother jutsu, which I'd say is much more deadly because you don't need a dojutsu, and your eyes don't bleed either. But it's much different. With that being said, Naruto would then realize what this was, as he would look at Orochimaru, cursing himself out for letting his guard down. Naruto's left eye would then start to shake. His body would strengthen, as his blade would go deeper within him and would pierce right through him and out his back. Naruto would then fall on one knee as he would smirk. He would then flex the muscle in, I guess you could say, his stomach area, as the blade would not be able to be pulled out by himself, meaning that Orochimaru could no longer hurt him with things such as his own blade. Naruto would then start to resist the jutsu, as Naruto would smirk. You thought this was some unbeatable jutsu? Orochimaru would raise an eyebrow at this claim from Naruto. Of course, it is. It is one of the greatest of all the 4 great nations. Or should I say 5? You should know this already, Orochimaru. This jutsu is like child's play. You see, and I'll actually explain this in a normal voice, not the voice that I've chosen to give Naruto, which just, is just the voice I gave him. But with that being said, basically, to actually perform this jutsu, you need to, I guess you could say, how would I explain this? Use a parasite of chakra. Basically, you create a parasite with chakra, as we see many characters in Naruto be with the mold things, and you send that parasite into the bloodstream of, your opponent, as this parasite is able to easily pass through skin, pass through clothing, things of the sort, so it easily just gets into the bloodstream. As there's also other ways to do it. Basically, this parasite was able to get into Naruto when both Orochimaru and Naruto clashed, because the parasite basically latched on the Naruto's sword and quickly, I guess you could say, slid down Naruto's sword and onto his hand through the glove that he was wearing, because he usually wears gloves, and, got into his bloodstream and then Orochimaru was able to control him. Anyhow, pretty simple to do. There's other ways, but yeah. Now, Naruto would say this to Orochimaru, as Orochimaru would nod. Yes, that is true, but you said that I'm acting like my jutsu is unbeatable. It is once I get into my opponent. There are ways to combat it beforehand, but, it's unbeatable once I'm in, don't you think? No, I don't think. I think that's a load of crap. Naruto would then tightly grab his arm as he would smirk. There's actually a way to not be controlled by the jutsu anymore. Well, speak of it then. You want to know the secret? Of course I do. You know me, Naruto. Well, if you break your own arm and tear it right off, since, that's where the parasite came into contact with me, then your jutsu will no longer work. Would you even dare do that? Well, let's test that theory. Since currently you're controlling my right arm, it means the parasite hasn't spread far enough, meaning that it's only within my arm. Yes, you were able to make it eat through and rattle some of my, red blood cells, and you were even able to make it rush through my body, causing my organs to shake and causing me to cough up blood initially. But no longer will you have control of my body. You can't control what's about to happen, as my will is far superior than anything that you can make me do with my own body. Now, Naruto would then grab his own arm, as he would then twist it. Naruto would then grit his teeth, as he would roar out in pain, a battle cry again of sorts, as his team would hear it. They couldn't wait any longer. They had to turn back. Yes, they believed in Naruto to defeat this man, but what if something happened? What if somebody else showed up? But on the deeper level of it all, they were just worried about Naruto. Was he alright? With that being said, Naruto would then add electricity to his palm, as it would make the process much smoother, at least in his opinion. He would then pull off his arm, as Naruto would grit his teeth. Naruto would then quickly use the Izanagi, as his arm would grow back. Naruto would then realize that, well, he had used the Izanagi and one of his Sharingan would close. Naruto would then smirk. Well, thanks to my Sharingan, I was able to regenerate this arm. Orochimaru had realized what Naruto had done, as he would remark that he's similar to Danzo in that aspect. Danzo, who Naruto thought to himself, as he realized that Danzo was a high-ranking official and an elder in, well, the Leaf Village, as this would raise the question to Naruto, who is Danzo and what is he after? Is he a man who wishes to betray the Leaf? He must be allied with Orochimaru, right? With that being said, Naruto would then smirk, even more than he had before. This time his smirk was one of absolute, I guess you could say, charisma. He was happy. Happy to know that he would no longer be controlled. Happy to know that he now had a way to defeat Orochimaru. Naruto would then pull out some ninja wire, connecting it to Orochimaru as it would connect to his arms. Naruto would then blow fire onto both of them, as Orochimaru's arms would start to, well, burn, but Orochimaru would fight to pain, telling Naruto that he had endured much greater things in the Third Great Ninja War. This is the war where, Jiraiya took that, break to train Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan. But with that being said, I think most of you guys should know that. As Orochimaru would then continue. Furthermore, I don't even need those arms. Don't you know that? Well, it will hinder you in our battle, don't you think? You can't just jump bodies. It takes you about 3 years to use that jutsu. And it's been about, what? 2.8 years or so. Am I right or am I right? Oh, you keep time. Which means that even if I can't kill you here, it will take you 4 years to grow back your arms by, well, switching into a new corpse. Because, well, you can't just do it so quickly. It takes you 3 years, like I said before. Now, let's play this my way. You leave the village, I let you live. I must reject your offer, my son. Naruto would grit his teeth, and even the Kyuubi itself would get angered. For somebody to call Naruto his son, and they're not even close to Naruto, at least in the way that Kurama would consider somebody to be, if they were to be, I guess you could say son level, with respect or with, kindness to each other, you know what I mean. Kurama wasn't buying it, Kurama didn't like it, and he was angered himself, as Naruto's father was a much stronger and much better man than Orochimaru has ever been, and, well, in his opinion, would ever be. So, Kurama would let out some extra Nine Tails power, which would cause Naruto to, well, basically gain all of his chakra, and to now be angrier himself. Naruto would look at Orochimaru as Orochimaru would continue. Sorry, but I must refuse. You know me, I like to, well, preserve my bodies. But currently, you're making it so that I have to fight, and you're gonna make this body croak too soon, don't you think? That will never happen. As long as you leave now, Orochimaru. Well, it seems to me like you don't think of me as your father. Or is my son just being defiant? Naruto would then put his sword to his side as he would put it away. But little did Orochimaru know that Naruto had actually sliced him up. In two, to be more exact. It had seemed that Naruto had gained a large speed boost from Kurama's chakra. Orochimaru would then be cut in half, as Orochimaru's body would fall to the floor. Naruto would then get angered even more. It's not over. Orochimaru would then reattach his body. Basically, a ton of snakes would kind of just form, and they'd basically just kind of, push his body back together. With that being said, Orochimaru would stand as he would clap his hands, applauding Naruto for his great strength, but telling Naruto that he has so much to learn, so much that Orochimaru can still teach him. Come back, Naruto, Orochimaru would say. Naruto was actually a great asset to have. He really boosted and boasted the military strength of Orochimaru, and not only that, but really aided with his research. Even though I guess you could say his Kyuubi chakra did help, and his Uzumaki heritage did help, Naruto in general was just a great ally to Orochimaru, and somebody who Orochimaru did, in part, just a little bit, start to form a connection with on a father-son level. Of course, at the time to Naruto, it was kind of like that until Naruto found out about Orochimaru's, true deeds and stuff. But with that being said, he never really thought of him as, a father figure. That's why Naruto doesn't care to kill him and so effortlessly tries to. With that being said, Orochimaru would then use a technique where he basically has a sword in his mouth. We've seen this technique before, as Naruto would start to dodge. Each time the sword came towards him, he would dodge, and dodge again. Naruto would then realize that if this were to continue, eventually he'd get slower and slower, and Orochimaru would capitalize on this, going faster and faster, pushing its limits. I say because of the bodies he's in, but with that being said, and then eventually Orochimaru would win. Naruto would then realize this as he would power electricity through his lightning sword / just sword, but now it's a lightning sword. With that being said, he would then cut into Orochimaru as, unfortunately for Naruto, he wasn't actually able to. He was stopped by Orochimaru's blade. Basically, he was trying to kind of just cut Orochimaru and just defeat him, but rather Orochimaru was able to block with his blade still in his mouth. This would then cause the two to clash as they would both jump back. Naruto would then fire off a technique that he had only used a few times before, as he basically created about 100 shadow clones, and they all would basically detonate with electricity. This would actually stun Orochimaru, as well. It would stun most people, as Orochimaru would be, as you could say, open for an attack, as Naruto would then pull his blade up, forward, powering it with both his Kyuubi chakra and his lightning chakra, as he would then slice Orochimaru in half. But it wasn't over. Just a quick slice in half would cause Orochimaru to, just stitch himself back together with his snakes, or use a substitution jutsu. The point is, there are many ways that Orochimaru can get out of something like this. So, rather, Naruto would continue slicing and dicing, if you want me to, say that. Not to rhyme or anything. But with that being said, Orochimaru would then be sliced into almost 1 million little pieces by Naruto, as Naruto would then release a great fireball jutsu onto Orochimaru's body, adding a wind air bullet just to make sure, it just had that little, explosion, just to make sure Orochimaru was gone for the count. But in fact, this was not the case. Orochimaru had saw something like this coming. He's dealing with, Naruto, and he's known Naruto for a pretty long time, and so he guessed something like this would actually happen. That's why he decided to revive himself through one of his curse marks, the one on Kimimaro, Kaguya, the dude with the bone release Kikagenkai. I hope you guys know who that is. Don't want to sound too vague. But with that being said, Naruto would then continue throughout the forest as he would then meet Sakura and Sasuke quicker than he thought. It had seemed that they had crossed paths very quickly. Naruto would then say that nothing happened, as they had asked why he was so hurt and basically why there was all these scratches on his body, but he would just say it was alright, nothing happened. As he would then rush out of the forest with his team, actually getting out before Gaara. I hope this gives you guys a perspective of how actually quick this fight was. It was very quick. With that being said, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura / Team 7 would be, I guess you could say, the first people to, leave the Forest of Death, and would actually instead break Itachi's record, and not Gaara breaking it, though Gaara would still technically break it in the grand scheme of things. With that being said, we would then see Naruto report to the Hokage. He knew exactly who Orochimaru was. Hiruzen knew that Orochimaru and Naruto had a connection. Naruto would explain everything that had happened, and Orochimaru would basically suspect that Orochimaru wasn't actually dead. I hope that made sense. Hiruzen, I don't know if I just said Orochimaru, but Hiruzen would basically put together that Orochimaru wasn't dead. It's his, I guess you could say, former mentor. But with that being said, or former trainee, whatever you want to call it. But with that being said, this is where we're going to end the part with the first round of the preliminaries kicking off. And, yeah. But at the same time, I feel like the preliminaries are going to go the exact same. So we'll say every fight goes the same, but we will stop at Naruto versus Neji, as that fight's not going to go the same, as well as Sasuke versus Gaara. Now, that being said, Rami X. Check out my second channel down below, and Rami X out.